Okay, we have the 1995 Range Rover Classic. This is the 4.2 long wheelbase version. The car won't start, and I've already done a lot of work to it. I checked the fuel is coming in. I changed the fuel filter. There is fuel pressure. I think I even tried putting carb cleaner into the intake manifold. Still won't start. So I'm pretty sure it's a spark problem. So this 15 amp fuse is for the fuel pump, because to do this I just didn't want to smell the fumes. And this is how you check a spark to see if you have spark. So I'm pulling off the plug wire, and then this is a fresh spark plug, as you can see. And where'd that wire go?
You put it here.
Here it is. Okay, so you push this in, and then you hold this up against something metal on the car. Okay, so we're gonna crank it, and we'll see what kind of spark we have here. Go for it. One more time. So that I consider a very weak spark. Let me just show you what the next step is here. I'm gonna just rest this down. This is the distributor. This distributes the spark to all the cylinders. If you follow this back, you end up over here. This goes to the distributor. I'm gonna pull this off so you can see. This is the ignition coil, I believe, this thing here. And we're going to take this off, and I'll show you where the ignition amplifier module is. It's over here. You can't really see it, but let's go ahead and take the coil off. That's one. Set the bolt aside. Okay. That's two. See, I could pull the coil up and place it over here. And then this is the ignition amplifier module, which you can see here. So this is just held on by these two screws, which I can also remove. So we're going to remove that, and we're going to replace that, and then we're going to retest the spark plug. So we obtained a spark gap tester so we can measure the amount of spark that this car is putting out. This is set to a pretty low amount now, like maybe 2 millimeters. So let's see if that works. Okay, why don't you give it a try? Nothing. Hang on, Fifi. So we decreased the gap to pretty much as low as small of a gap as we could get with this tool. Try again, okay? Stop. Okay. All right, so the next step is to replace the coil, it's called, which is this thing here. This is a brand new coil. And that would replace the coil, which is here. So I will just unbolt that, and we'll wire it up and see how it works. Okay, so the new coil is in. I made sure to wire it correctly. This side, I believe, is minus, and this side is plus. Okay, so next we will connect this. Obviously this isn't that tight, so we'll have to fix that later, but for purposes of testing, I think we're fine. So let's go do the spark test. All right, so I have it set back to, I think it looks like 2 on this thing, which is what we started with before. And let's see if we can get some spark this time. All right, go. We definitely got a spark across there. So why don't we try putting this fuse back in, and we'll see if this thing works. Okay, so I put the fuel pump fuse back in, which is number 15. I plugged the cylinder wire back in. Let's just get everything out of the way in case the car does start. All right, why don't you give it a try? Stop. Try again. Stop. So I did a couple of things off camera. This is the rotor, it's in there, and then this is called the cap, I think. And this is the part that spins, so actually this is the rotor. I traced the problem to this by testing for a spark at various locations in the electrical circuit. So what I've decided is that this thing is faulty somehow. I mean, this is the other part. When I took it out, I made sure to mark front so I would know how to put it back. It's going to go back like this. And then this is, again, the old and the new. And this is the new rotor arm. So, I don't know, doesn't really, the old one, I don't think this arm part is the problem. I think the problem was inside here. So this is the new assembly, and this is the old one. And you will see some scoring. And the other thing is there's this, see this line? I think that actually is bad. They call those carbon deposits, or, well, I'm not really sure what the issue is. You do see some lines if you look closely, and hopefully that would explain why this one isn't working. So this is a pretty easy install. Obviously, I already took the other thing off, so we'll just go ahead and put the new rotor arm. It was a tighter fit, but with two hands I was able to get it on properly. And then the next step is pretty easy. You just go ahead and put this on. There are two locking parts. One goes towards the front, the other goes towards the back. So I have to just get that to fit. This also seems a little different, but I think that's it right there. And then I just gotta push these up in place. Just noticed something interesting. There's a tab that sets the orientation. And as I was putting it on, I realized the tab needs to go over here. But when I took this off, I marked front, so it was put on wrong originally, and that could actually have contributed to the issues here. So when I put this one on, I'm gonna make sure that this goes where it's supposed to go, and actually it fits much better. It locks in like that, so it's going to be much more secure, and I think the contacts should line up better also. So that alone should help improve the performance. Okay, so we've been through this numerous times. I replaced the cap and rotor. I reoriented it so this tab is now, you know, properly interlocked on this on the rotor. I then went over the spark wires and made sure that they were being routed according to the diagram. And I previously changed this coil. I changed the ignition amplifier module, but turns out that didn't do anything, so I changed it back. The car should start now. I didn't verify spark, but having changed this assembly, I believe that is going to fix the problem. So this is a test to see if we finally achieve success here. Oh my. Wow. It didn't even hesitate. Wow. I hope it doesn't die on me, but that sounds really good. Give it a little gas. I went through a lot of other steps here. I cleaned the mass airflow filter. I took off the idle control valve over there. I cleaned that out. I checked the pressure at the fuel pressure over there. A few other things as well, as I discussed, but I think at the end it was really just a bad cap. This is the distributor, so I think that was the problem. If we're lucky, I should get another season of driving out of this without any more incident.